In the anime Love is War, student body president Miyuki Shirogane and vice president Kaguya Shinomiya both have feelings for each other, yet neither of them are willing to admit this. The reason for this is because the first to confess loses, will be looked down upon, and considered the lesser. Or is it? There is so much more to this war of love that allows some of the most creative and deep character development through a medium of fun and entertaining romantic comedy. The entire story from the name to the narration is depicted as conflict between characters, when in reality the true conflict is interpersonal, and this juxtaposition between the portrayal and reality is served to emphasize the true meaning of the show, which is growth and maturity of oneself in learning to accept your feelings. The superb ability of the writing gives us a relatable and entertaining story of characters coming to terms with their feelings that they have never felt before through the cover of light-hearted and playful dynamics. If I can entertain you while covering my thoughts, please subscribe and hit that like button, thank you in advance. Immediately, we are able to get an underlying understanding of the characters from the reasons behind them creating this roundabout way of confessing love for one another. The idea that the feelings they have for each other must be brought forward through the constant battles to confess their love brings us to the proverb, all is fair in love and war. It is impossible not to associate that proverb with what is going on here. If all is fair in love and war, and here we have a war of love, then by God shit has hit the fan way before Chika's even showed up. But I digress. This alone gives more than enough information to understand each of these main characters' personalities. Miyuki comes from an underprivileged background who has climbed his way to the top through his hard work and determination. He holds himself in high regards and is consistently working to maintain his perfect image. Despite his pride and self-confidence, Miyuki still has certain levels of insecurities due to his background and fears of being looked down upon. This explains his reason for treating his feelings for Kaguya like a game and attempting to force her hand at confessing first. He wants to be seen and treated on equal terms as her. Kaguya, on the other hand, is a multi-talented genius and the daughter of the head of one of the biggest conglomerates in the city. Due to this upbringing, she expects and obtains almost anything she desires through any means necessary, often relying on either money or Ai Hayasaka. It is this personality of superiority that causes her to expect Miyuki to confess first, as she constantly plays mind games against him. Speaking of games, this time not that of love or war, but in a more lighthearted manner, we have the member of the tabletop gaming club, Chika Fujiwara, easily one of the most effective foil characters to contrast both Kaguya and Miyuki, who are both rather serious main characters. She serves as comedic tension relief as well as unpredictable chaos towards the serious and calculated schemes that the main characters partake in. Much like the rest of her personality, don't let the fact that she is a member of the tabletop gaming club fool you, as she has a habit of cheating when playing games. This allows her to fit into an environment where every game played at the student council with Miyuki and Kaguya have an ulterior motive, in which, like I said earlier, all is fair. As we progress through the story, we witness the refined development within the characters. As Miyuki and Kaguya grow and mature, they find it more and more difficult to continue this war between themselves. The reason for this is because it was never actually about forcing each other's hand in a war of love. The real conflict was learning to accept their feelings in a world where it was difficult to truly express themselves. The story also focuses time on other characters with their growth and relationships in order to provide opportunities for learning for Miyuki and Kaguya in a manner that is unrelated to the ongoing war between them. Even then, the show may portray any scene between any character as a battle with winners and losers despite the absence of any ulterior motives. This portrayal of battles continues throughout the story while the actions and feelings of Miyuki and Kaguya shift away from simply winning or losing and toward a need for reassurance of their feelings for each other. They were both too proud to admit their feelings to themselves, much less confess to each other. Thus, denying these feelings and partaking in these fantasy battles against each other was a defense mechanism. This defense mechanism makes the characters project their feelings onto each other as if it is war, as if they need to win by making the others confess first. The truth is, they want the other to confess because they are afraid and embarrassed, which is totally relatable feeling. Although this may have been how it was in the beginning, it becomes less so as the story progresses. As they grow and mature, they face more internal struggles within themselves, such as accepting their feelings. The battles begin to serve as a way to seek some kind of reassurance that the other one has any kind of similar feeling. This itself is another very relatable aspect. The narration and portrayal of the story continues to be that of the characters battling against each other for a win, while in reality these battles serve a more interpersonal conflict. This interpersonal conflict stemming from the uncertainty about how they should interpret and act on their feelings. The narration started in support of the characters when they first interpreted their feelings in line with their current personalities, but this narration increasingly contrasts as they begin to understand their feelings better and their motivations for these battles change. It is thanks to this juxtaposition in the nature between the portrayal and the reality of the battles that serve to emphasize the well-written character development in their growth and maturity. Additionally, the conflicting portrayal and feelings of the characters expresses to the audience the inner conflicts the characters are feeling even before the characters may have even noticed it yet themselves. It is understandable and even more relatable to not know or understand your own feelings, to not even know you are conflicted or what your feelings are in the first place. Much of the appeal of this show romantically is allowing us to relate to the characters in both how they feel and act. We have been able to relate to these characters through every step of their growth.
I know I'm being pessimistic, but I have to consider all outcomes. comes!
This is an exactly normal and understandable thing to feel, and explains her inner reasonings of why she would have been denying these feelings for so long. We're able to understand how this all started, and we see how things have changed. The reason relatability is so important is because it allows us to better understand the feelings of the characters with greater insight into their growth. Additionally, it allows people to empathize with the plot, themes, and characters in an intimate way, so the core message is one that becomes just as meaningful. The anime to provide us with astonishing character growth, well-anticipated fulfilling climaxes, and fun characters that form a bond between each other in a way that makes us feel like we are there hanging out with them as well. We watch as these characters grow, and the narration's portrayal becomes further away from reality of their feelings. By having the narration continue to treat all the interactions as battles that could be won or lost, highlights the characters' growth when they no longer only care about winning or losing. As the contradictions grow, the growth of the characters become clear.
It's not like love is war and whoever gives their heart first is somehow conquered.
Hey, you get it? This is the title and the point of the whole story!
The contradictions between the battles and the characters serve as an entertaining mask over the real meaning of the show. Now, even if you have never thought about it explicitly, it is clear the true meaning of the show is the development of the characters and the relationships between them. Specifically, this development is the growth and maturity within the characters while learning to accept their feelings. The growth that is achieved within the characters serves to support and strengthen the relationships between them. This can be seen in every single main character, and they have each been given beautifully crafted story arcs that allows us to see this growth, with the exception of Chika, the foil who has no love or relationship interest, but gets bloody oogling over this thought. The show uses this growth and maturity towards accepting of one's feelings as a journey toward relationships and becoming romantically involved. Each character at the beginning of their journey is shown to be alone, with trouble fitting in and relating to others. Miyuki begins his high school life feeling that he doesn't belong in a school with everyone coming from families of higher status. Kaguya is known in the beginning as the ice princess with everyone afraid to approach her. Yu and Ino do not have many friends due to their idealizations that they live up to. We watch as each of these characters grow in confidence and self-understanding. With the understanding of themselves, they open up to the understanding of others. This allows them to accept others' feelings and reaching out. The growth is initially represented by relationships with friends, as in joining the student council and even branching off into joining other clubs. We witness the growth of these characters being tied to the relationships that they are able to achieve from it. To top it off, as the characters develop further, their relationships are then taken to the next level as they find romantic interests. They allow themselves to pursue these romantic interests as they come to understand more clearly what it is they want and what they are feeling. The climax of their growth and maturity is represented by reaching the point of romantic relationship. Through the beautifully crafted characters in a writing format that allows us to witness their development as they come to better understand themselves, we are drawn into a friend group that we feel ourselves a part of. We feel like we belong, like we were there, like we felt every emotional impact the characters did, from their confusion to embarrassment, all while watching in entertainment of the battles between the characters, even if those battles served a greater purpose, that we slowly come to realize right as the climaxes are peaking and our eyes are leaking. Now, growth shouldn't end once you're in a relationship. There is still room for growth within yourself and together with your partner. There will be a new set of difficulties and a lot more to learn. I'm excited to see where the story continues. If you enjoyed this anime analysis and want to watch more, I have others on screen now and in the playlist. If you disagree with any of what I said, let me know in the comments below for others and me to read. Thanks for watching. Catch me next month.